all, Emily here, and I am one of the instructors for your newsletter course, Newsletter Strategies for Journalists. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen with you and we'll get started. So I'm going to review a few different newsletter types. And the first type I want to introduce to you is the link aggregator. And the link aggregator you'll typically see coming from a publisher. And in this case, the link aggregator has links that all go back directly to the publisher's site. And so this model really works well for a newsletter if the publisher has a successful paywall strategy and they're basically just using their newsletters to funnel their readers back to their website. And so yeah, publisher goal, get your audiences to your website. Audience goal, stay up to date on the stories of your favorite publisher. And this is in contrast to a different kind of link aggregator newsletter that I see that has a lot of links in their content, and that's kind of from the expert. And so this link aggregator has a kind of publisher goal of building the reputation of the outlet as the overseer or expert or leader in a particular subject. So in this case, this newsletter is from Nieman Lab, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Nieman Lab has this awesome newsletter that compiles and aggregates stories about the future of journalism. So if you work in journalism or media, you can subscribe to this and stay up to date on what's going on. Then there's also this briefing newsletter type, which kind of just jumps right into a bunch of links, but they're all kind of geared towards a specific profession in many cases. And it's not necessarily intended to direct people back to the publisher's site, but really to kind of build this loyalty with the reader. And these are very sticky products. They're usually sent daily. They're usually sent daily in the morning to catch people in their commutes when people went on commutes every day. And they are really great if you are a person in a particular field and you need to know everything that's going on every day, like in this case in politics or whatever this course newsletter is about. Here's another type of newsletter that I like to call the briefing and link aggregator combo. So original. And I see this kind of newsletter a lot across the publishers that I work with in the nonprofit journalism field. These are kind of smaller to mid-size outlets where they have one or two newsletter products. And the goal kind of here is one, to build an affinity with the publisher. So usually a lot of these newsletters start out with like a personal note from the editor or from the reporter writing, just saying like, this is what we're up to today in this newsroom, this is how we're doing. And then the newsletter will also include some links both to their own content, but also to partner content or things that they think their readers might also find interesting. And finally, we have the essay long read newsletter, and we see this particularly with Substack writers a lot. These are very prose-heavy, prose-driven long read newsletters. A lot of these are sent over the weekend as kind of fun reads. And the goal here is really to kind of keep the reader within the newsletter. There aren't a ton of links, or there's like one or two well-placed links. And the goal for the reader is to kind of enjoy a longer weekend read. I just wanted to point out these variables and say that this mixture of variables, the best way to kind of decide on which ones make sense for your newsletter is to get to know your audience, get to know what their needs are, how they consume information, what kind of resonates with them, and also to kind of get to know yourself and your publication and what your own bandwidth and capacity is. And between those two sides, you'll be able to start to put together the newsletter that makes sense for you.
If you like this video, then we invite you to check out the full self-directed course by clicking on the link in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you, and see you next time.